Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. This is Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. And man, you'd think Netflix would have learned its lesson at this point, but it's just so weird because Netflix seems like such a weird house divided. Sometimes you have absolutely incredible things like One Piece that are faithful adaptations that do a really, really good job. And then you have things like the Cleopatra docu-series out there that for some reason, despite all of the descriptions out there saying Cleopatra was pale with potentially green eyes and even red hair, they cast a black woman as it because of, I don't know, reasons. But at the end of the day, boys and girls, this is one of those things that had upset a lot of people. Netflix obviously got a lot of backlash from people of Egypt out there. There was a lot of Egyptian backlash. I think they even got like a sanction from the government. It was a whole big mess of controversy and craziness out there. Well, apparently Netflix hasn't learned its lesson, or maybe they just think Sweden is a country that's so small, they don't have to care about upsetting them or making them rile them in any way, shape, or form, because once again, they're back at it. Because, you know, Sweden, the country known for beautiful, blonde, tall, men and women out there, well, Netflix is gonna Netflix, boys and girls, because guess what the person that they cast as the king of Sweden from literally like the 1800s looks like. Yes, boys and girls, Netflix casts Alexander Jihad Abdallah as Swedish king. And yeah, it sparked some backlash. I wonder why. And this did not work out for Netflix for Cleopatra either. That thing was an absolute ratings disaster. It cost Netflix hundreds of millions of dollars, and I get it. Maybe they don't care. Netflix is absolutely, probably, arguably, or maybe even unarguably the most successful current Hollywood studio, because yes, that's exactly what they are. They better started out as a streaming service, or actually a DVD delivery service for everybody else. But at the end of the day, they now are a Hollywood studio. They produce their own productions. They produce their own television shows, movies, and in this case, documentaries. And maybe they just don't care about the money. Maybe they're not worried about losing it. I just don't get how you cannot see the writing on the wall and how you can go out there and insult a whole country, not once, but twice now, because you want to make your fake history documentary nonsense where you're trying to literally rewrite history. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is, right? Despite all of their, it's an interpretation, it's a retelling, yada, 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 yada. Let's be honest, boys and girls. At the end of the day, we all know that the majority of us, the average person out there who's not some extreme, kind of like literal history buff out there, got most of our education about the history of world events from movies and television shows. So yes, they know that, we know that, and that's exactly why they are doing this. So we're going to check out this article from cosmicbook.news, getting all the juicy details of exactly what's going on, and of course some of the fan reactions that we've already seen online yet. And if you guys have some favorites, please let us know in the comment section down below. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 2,200. We're already at 2,258, which is absolutely insane. Same on our way towards 2,300 on our journey to 100,000, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Let me know what you think about all this. Does it surprise you at all that Netflix is going down this path to once again race swap a historical documentary situation? Or do you think you can't actually believe that they're still doing this despite all of the cultural backlash they've had with stuff like this before? Or are you perfectly okay with this? Because after all, our comment section is open to everyone. Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. If you want to support the channel, please check the links in the description as well. All right, from Matt McGloin over at cosmicbook.news, boys and girls. Netflix is facing backlash after casting the Lebanese-Swedish actor Alexander Jihad Abdul as King Gustav III in the upcoming Swedish period drama, The Von Fersens. Oh, well, it's just a drama. It's fiction. It'll be fine, right? It's okay. Well, he's a Swedish resident. He's a Swedish citizen. Yeah, how's that working out for the natives of Sweden out there, boys and girls? Although, you know what? Considering the way things are going, this definitely could be an erasure of history because Sweden's going to look a whole lot like this guy in the next coming decades if they don't change their ways out there. But hey, you get what you vote for. So by all means, please, Sweden, do something about yourselves because I love your country and I love a lot of the folks over there. So I'd like to see you not completely and totally collapse like other places are fixing to as well. So please do something about it. The casting has stirred debate online, which critics accuse the streamer of, again, distorting history. You think? Just a little bit, because after all, my grandma said Cleopatra was black and don't believe all them history folks out there and what they tell you in school. Well, apparently, according to some, I don't know, guys from the Middle East, according to their grandmas, that the Swedish king was actually one of them. I don't know at this point, boys and girls. I just don't know what kind of, and at the end of the day, just be some whatever kind of BS excuse that they can come up with to try to justify their actions, right? We all know it's a lie. We all know the real reasons they're doing this. A posting on X criticizing the casting has gained 1.9 million views. With the user writing, Netflix is producing a historical series in which Lebanese actor Jihad Abdul, now Alexander, plays our Swedish King Gustav III from the 1800s. They're doing everything they can to distort history. And how do you think everybody out there reacted? It's all so tiresome. Playing devil's advocate here, two whites, ethically, yada, yada, yada. Barack Obama, the one we're actually waiting for. Ryan Gosling out there. Netflix presents Polar Bears, a documentary. Absolutely. Brown bear, black bear, racist bear. I love it. But I mean, it's just all of this kind of stuff out there. You know, an original Netflix series, Putin, Elon Musk, presented by Netflix, because these memes exist because it's a growing trend over and over and over again. Media sure hates Europeans. The question is, why are you still watching Netflix? The George Washington thing. I mean, everything else about this. It's absolutely insane, boys and girls. And here he is. Here he is without the rag on his face. Yeah. Really looks like a native person born in the Swedish countryside now, doesn't it, boys and girls? Yeah, that's not going to cause confusion. I'm sure that's not intentional at all. Netflix describes the film Fersens as a romantic drama set in the 18th century Stockholm, following the lives of Sophie and Axel van Fersens, siblings born into one of Sweden's most influential families. The siblings rise to prominence but later clash with King Gustav III, who strips away their family's status. So not only are you race swapping a historical character, but you're also going to make one of your BIPOC folks, one of your underrepresented categories, the villain of the story. How does any of this make sense? How does any of this make sense at all? Oh, well, they're just colorblind. They're not seeing it. Oh, really? Oh, really? You act like they haven't read the social media post. They haven't seen the fan reaction. You don't think Netflix knows better than any of us out there how much of a disastrous dumpster fire Cleopatra was? Yet they keep on doing it. So at least to some degree, there is someone inside of Netflix's, at least, I don't know, acquisitions, or maybe just the guy who cuts the checks and approves of projects, is totally okay with the spirit of the age. And they're just green lighting and rubber stamping everything. Because this isn't going to make you any money. It might win you some awards, but what do those mean when you're bleeding money left and right because you try to race swap historical characters? It never works. It doesn't work in comic books. It doesn't work in movies or television shows when you're trying to adapt a source material. This is not going to work for Netflix, but by all means, it's their money. I get to keep making videos talking about you, laughing and roasting at you and covering all of the fan backlash and showing what people think. Because we've already walked down this path once. And shout out to all the Egyptians that loved my video over Cleopatra. Because guess what, boys and girls? We've got the exact same situation going on all over again. And my only question is, what are the Swedish people going to say about this? I'm sure we'll find out in the coming days. Production recently began in Sweden. Gustav's a role. King Gustav III, who reigned from 1771. Yeah, I'm sure there was a whole lot of Middle Eastern folks in Sweden in 1771. Until his assassination in 1792, is known as a cultural reformer and a patron of the arts. Oh, so he's going to be a good guy? His inclusion in the von Fersen connects directly to the downfall of the von Fersen family, making him central to the story. So, of course, he's got to be there. So, of course, we just have to race swap him to make it all okay. Because God forbid you show a white guy as maybe a patron of the arts and a cultural reformer before he got taken out. And we don't know how far we go with the story. It sounds like he's going to be the villain. It sounds like he's going to be the villain of the story. But at the end of the day, this is one of them situations where we've seen this kind of thing before, right? We know this is going to happen. They're going to keep on doing it, and we're going to know what goes on. I mean, people ask, why do you keep talking about this? Why do you keep paying attention to it? Because boys and girls, at the end of the day, the one thing the devil hates most of all is to be mocked. To be mocked, to be ridiculed, to be made fun of. Because he doesn't want you to laugh at him. He wants you to take him serious. He wants you to be scared of him. He wants you to listen to his sweet nothings and believe all of his lies. And boys and girls, for as long as this channel continues, as long as the Lord keeps us moving forward, going forward and covering all of our bills out there, we will continue documenting the disastrous dumpster file that is all things Hollywood out there. Because at the end of the day, this is what happens. They have danced with the devil. They have infested their minds with all of this activist nonsense. They have accepted the spirit of the age into their hearts. And they lovingly and loyally follow it. And it doesn't matter how much money they lose. It doesn't matter how much backlash they get from Egypt or how much backlash they get from Sweden. They'll keep on pushing forward. And at some point, this cancer will spread. At some point, this cancer will metastasize unless it is cut out of Netflix. And it will end up affecting other things out there. It will infect every single production they are involved in. Just like we saw what happened to Disney. Started out with Star Wars, then it spread to Marvel, then it spread to Disney Animation, and now it's in every aspect of that company. And now they have their own fans pushing back against them because they're trying to find some kind of center ground and common sense again. But at the end of the day, it'll be too little too late. When you court this kind of stuff, when you ask for these kind of people to be your audience and you ignore the rest of the common sense population out there, and most of all, the Swedish people themselves, you are going to end up failing and falling just like everything else. So by all means, Netflix, it's your money. But we will be here to document this disastrous dumpster fire because your ratings are going to be abysmal. There are going to be more Swedish people speaking out against this in the days to come. And at the end of the day, it'll be all your fault. You danced with the devil and now you're getting burned. It's exactly what you deserve, Netflix. Burn all the money you want. We'll just keep on smiling, laughing, ridiculing you, and most of all, mocking you. A big shout out to all of our subscribers and members out there. Thanks for watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe if you have not already.